Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. This message is not for everyone. This video is made for people who aspire to be professional artists. Professional in general, but speak specifically about professional artists here. So if you're just enjoying art for your free time as an amateur artist, you can scroll away because this video might not be relevant to you. It can even contain a painful truth in it. But those who aspire to be professional artists might find an inspiration here. I talk about this after so many conversations that I have with aspiring artists, where every time I try to explain how this business works, how this industry works, how this profession works, and why it is important to go through a certain process. And every time I try to explain it, someone tells me or pulls a story from somewhere about people who made it without needing to go through the whole journey. And so I try to explain so many times. First of all, you need to have access to the full picture. You cannot just use one aspect of that story and come to portray it as the whole fact, as the whole truth. Because you don't have access to the whole picture. You don't know that that person who made it as a professional artist within a short period of time, because of this and that he's not the son of a politician that has access to the tax money, that has access to TV, you don't know those things. Even when they change their names, you have no access to the full picture. So you cannot use many things as an argument here until you have access to the full picture. And there's also this lottery effect. I know that there's a lot of cliches in this industry. Fake it till you make it, the lottery effect, especially this story when many times I work with actors and I tell them how it is important to follow, to learn Stanislavski's system, method acting, Chekhov, to learn certain things in order to know what it's all about, psychodrama, to understand the human psyche, how it acts, what moves it, the emotional state, the needs, the objectives, how it is important to learn those things. And suddenly someone tells me, yeah, but you know, there's an actress who never studied acting. She doesn't know anything about acting. And she worked in a restaurant, worked in a cafe as a waitress. And suddenly a director came into the cafe and he saw her and he gave her a main role in a film. And she won the Oscar. Now, here, people stop thinking that they need to study acting and they start to go to look for jobs in cafes, thinking that this is the place what will lead to success. This is the place where it would lead to the Oscars. And here is the thing. When you hear such a story about an artist, about an actress, about a singer who was discovered suddenly within a night, she became famous and rich and won all those awards. It is important, if you are an aspiring professional artist, to remember that those stories are marketing stories. Those stories are made in order for the public, in order for the fan base to live in that fantasy that one day they can be discovered. This is the lottery effect. That's why you have so many people buying the lottery ticket, because the news tell them that, wow, that guy who was so poor, he didn't have anything, he didn't have money, he became a multi-millionaire within a night. That's why you see so many people, instead of working, creating, growing the economy, improving themselves, investing their money in themselves and in their work and in their aspirations, they invest it in lottery tickets. As a professional artist, you cannot afford that. Those stories are made for people who are not aspiring to be professionals, who are not ready to take the whole journey, who just want to live in that illusion and that fantasy that they are glamorous and gorgeous, that they don't need to work on anything. They are just like this, being taken, and everything can be happening in a moment. The professional way has a different path. You cannot get inspired by people who are taking drugs and alcohol and addicted, and you hear those stories of the paparazzi who's taking photos In the old times, we had paparazzi before social media came. And they are on drugs, and now they are living in a depressed mood, and they have the psychological things. Those are stories. They sound sexy in order to appeal to the fan base. You cannot take that as an inspiration and F your life in order to feel like you can be an artist. This is not the path. On the contrary, while they are selling those stories to the public, while the marketing companies are creating narratives and stories in order to appeal to the masses, those artists, in their real lives, they're very careful what they eat, when they go to the gym, how they strategize, when they have the meetings, the management. They're on a whole different level. It's only the narrative and the story that has been sold to the public, to the fan base, to the masses, to the mainstream, are more in line with imperfections, with fragility, with being weak and addicted, etc. That's how they appeal to the masses. You, as a professional artist, you have a different path. This video might save you years of pain. I hope I could inspire. Thank you everyone for staying with me. I'm Shredy Jabarin. Ciao.